Darley Memorial Tennis Center. Semifinals, number 5 seed James Blake taking on the tall Croatian Ivo Karlovic. Let's go down on center court with Wayne Bryan.
Here tonight to perform the national anthem, please welcome the Las Vegas headliner and local tennis star, Mr. Clint Holmes, everybody.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, what a way to kick off an evening's tennis. Clint Holmes, a stirring rendition. Hello, everyone. I'm Leif Shirus, and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. Joining me in the booth, Jimmy Arias. Another beautiful day here in Las Vegas and a wonderful evening tonight. And what a day of action we have had on the court and off, not only on center court, but around the grounds. And the tennis festival, the Tennis Palooza, continues to excite.
It's incredible. We still have Gael Monfils. He's in the finals of the paddle tennis now. He's the story of the tournament, really, in some ways, in paddle tennis. And we've had some great tennis as well, along with all the other activities this week.
That's right. We'll also have the finals of the ITF women's event, the Mirage Cup. But let's move to tonight's actions. James Blake playing in the semifinals here. He's taking on Ivo Karlovic. Blake has played well to get to this semifinal, so he has to feel good about his form.
Well, Blake's played well all year so far. 12-4 in the year. He already has one title in Sydney earlier this year. He's actually won 3 of his 4 titles since last August. And in his quarterfinal, he was playing Kenneth Carlsen, and this is a tricky match. Kenneth Carlsen's a pretty big server, lefty, a little bit different, and Blake off to his usual athletic self, running down balls, coaxing the air out of Carlsen that time. This was sort of a routine match from a score standpoint. 6-4, 6-4, just a solid win for Blake. Had a little bit too much. Too much athletic ability, too much touch, and too much power when he needed it. Winning the big points, winning the important points was Blake. He's doing a great job of mixing up 4 ways up to the net with some great baseline play. Blake has looked pretty solid so far in the semifinals.
Yeah, I think Blake would be happy with holding his serve like he needs to do tonight. You can see who he takes on. Ivo Karlovic leading James Blake out onto center court here at the Darley Memorial Tennis Center. And you can see that this man means business. A big occasion for him. His family is in the house, as is his coach, and a chance to reach a final here in Las Vegas. Well, James Blake taking on Ivo Karlovic, who has also played well. He took out Tommy Robredo in the quarterfinals.
Karlovic is a man that no one wants to see on the other side of the net. He serves at 140 plus. If he's getting first serves in, he's in trouble. Even though Robredo ripped a few passing shots early in that first set, it was touch and movement from Karlovic. He's a big man, but for 6'10", he moves pretty well. And really, whenever Karlovic plays, you know you're going to have a couple of tie breaks. And it's all a question of who wins the tie break. Karlovic got the breaks in that first set tie break, won at 7-6. 1 break of serve in the second set was all he needed, and the number 3 seed was gone, 7-6, 6-4. Karlovic, a dangerous man for anyone.
Yeah, I think Robredo might have felt better behind the wheel of that stock car at the Richard Petty Racing School than he did having to return Karlovic's serve, but he is a very dangerous guy, this Karlovic. Well, let's go down to one of our popular diversions, Mika Buchan. She's down in the plaza. Mika, how are you?
I don't know if I've been called a popular diversion before, but I'll take it as a compliment. So this Tennis Palooza action has been getting more and more exciting as the week goes on, if that's possible. Today, the conditions were perfect, not only for the players, but for the fans. The outside stadium courts, you know, here at the paddle tennis and at the women's events, both the NCAA girls and, of course, our semi-finals were packed today with fans who didn't know whether to go to the center court or to the outside court, and they were having so much fun. So many other activities. Of course, we crowned our first ever Tennis Channel Open Air Hockey Invitational, and these guys are such devoted champions that they just can't get off the table. So the plaza is still bustling with fans who are pouring through the gates here for the game tonight. So I'm going to be bringing you all that kind of activity. And also Thomas Blake is going to have a chat to us while his brother is playing tonight, so we can get his impression of how things are going on court. All that and more from me, and now it's back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Mika. And she does a great job sharing with us all that's going on around the grounds, because it's a big facility with so much for everyone to see. Anyways, interesting matchup on center court. Karlovic, the big guy, he's just going to keep coming at James Blake, isn't he?
Tough one to call. You expect tie breaks. Anytime Karlovic plays, the big 6'10" man, he's going to play some tie breaks. It's tough to break his serve. He's gotten a little bit better with the rest of his game. A new coach, and Tarek Benabil, as you can see, he leads the ATP in aces per match. Last year, 18.8. And he's a guy that has started to learn how to play from the back of the court a little bit, even though I don't think he should spend much time back there. He's getting better. His forehand's pretty big. And maybe someday this guy's going to have a chance to make a big run at Wimbledon.
Yeah, he really is developing some skills around the court. Well, James Blake has been developing his skills, and he is just seemingly reaching his best tennis right now. 33-10 and 3 titles since last August, so he's hitting a fine vein of form.
Incredible run James Blake has had. Really, that U.S. Open, I think, brought him a lot of confidence. He lost the match to Andre Agassi 7-6 in the 5th set, but it was a great match. He loved playing it. The atmosphere was fantastic. He's taken that all the way to new heights, and I think he's going to be in the top 10 sometime in the near future.
Yeah, he just looks very comfortable on the court, and he certainly looks comfortable in the semifinals here, playing for a spot against the top seed Leighton Hewitt, who awaits the winner of this match.
Was founded by 16 aircraft engineers. Their spirit lives on. The Saab 9-3 Aero convertible with an all-new 250 horsepower turbocharged V6. When you used to build jets, you don't build just another car. Saab, born from jets.
What is the color of innocence? What is the color of bravado? What is the color of passion? What is the color of defiance? Life is color, and no other HD television shows it more vibrantly than the Panasonic Plasma, America's best-selling plasma TV. Panasonic, ideas for life.
Proud sponsor of Club Slinger, Sergio Garcia.
Ladies?
Where's he going?
Back to the range.
Panasonic presents the Tennis Channel Open, brought to you in part by the Mirage, the official hotel and casino for the Tennis Channel Open. By FedEx. FedEx is a proud sponsor of the Tennis Channel Open. Enjoy the match. Relax. It's FedEx. Icy hot sleeve. Gets icy to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away. By Michelob Ultra. Live life to the ultra. And by Panasonic. Ideas for life. Well, it's a beautiful place, Las Vegas, Nevada. And when the sun sets, it seems like the action begins to happen. And it is right here where we are getting some of the finest tennis in the world. James Blake taking on Ivo Karlovic in the semifinals of this event. Well, JetBlue, the official airlines of the Tennis Channel Open, has awarded some lucky fans a chance to sit down courtside. They brought them from their seats high up in the stadium, and now they are sitting right beside the baseline. A wonderful place to see the match, and they're looking pretty cozy in those first-class seats.
Those might be awful seats for this match because Ivo Karlovic is playing, and he's got a 140-mile-an-hour serve, and they could be in the way of a couple of those. Just a little bit wide, and all of a sudden they're in trouble.
Heads up. I want to thank JetBlue, the official airlines of the Tennis Channel Open. Here's a look at James Blake, 26 years old. He's been on the tour since back in '99. Trains out of Tampa, Florida, although splits his time between New York and Connecticut occasionally. And right around that career high of 20.
And 12-4 mark so far this year. He's off to a quick start after a hot end of the year last year. James Blake, people know about all the problems he had that he's overcome. Broken vertebra, death of his father, shingles, all kinds of problems for months and months at a time, and all of a sudden he came back with a vengeance last year, and it is nice to see it continuing so far in 2006.
Well, there is the big man.
Big Ivo Karlovic, 6'10", from Croatia. Turned pro back in 2000, and he's slowly making strides every year. For 6'10", he's very athletic, and that's what's going to make him a dangerous player. He's had big wins throughout his career. 61 in the world right now, his career high 51. He has made the finals of a tournament on grass in Queens, lost to Andy Roddick in that final, but he beat Leighton Hewitt on the way to that final match. So he's a guy that can play big matches and play them well.
Well, here's Fergus Murphy, our man from Dublin, Ireland. He's in the chair tonight, and he's sporting our ump cam. Hoping that this might be a valuable perspective as we watch this match unfold. Now, what do you suppose he's looking at right there?
No, not valuable.
I think Fergus knows what he's looking at the moment.
Thank you.
Fergus plays a lot of tennis back in Dublin. Got to be enjoying this nice Las Vegas weather. I asked him about what it's like to play tennis in Dublin. He says, well, if you wait for the weather to be right, you'll never play. I really got a kick out of that because here in Vegas, you can play every day. So the big man is the last one out of his chair.
First set, Ivo Karlovic to serve.
And the man who might look as comfortable in an NBA lineup as he does on the tennis court, and he'll start us off.
Blake did just about what you have to do when you're playing Karlovic. Get that first serve return, try to get it back in the court any way you can, and then run down as many balls and hope for an error.
That shirt is evidently made for someone 6 feet 10 inches tall.
Blake with the two-handed return. Not normally his play. Remember, he's a one-handed backhand, but he needed a little help on that first serve. Used his left hand. Good sign for Blake so far. There it is, a two-handed return. Never seen before by James Blake.
(30-15).
142 miles per hour. That was a blur, and it was probably whizzing past Blake's racket.
This is the story of Ivo Karlovic. 91% of his service games he wins. He only breaks serve 6% of the time. So what does that equal? A lot of tie breaks. Blake has a tiny bit of an edge to me in that these two played last week in doubles. They've never played in singles, but they played against each other in doubles, and Blake said they broke him a couple times. So just the fact that he's seen his serve a little bit can help.
Yeah.
And recently.
Coming left side.
Because one of the problems when you're playing Karlovic is that serve's coming at a different angle than anyone else you play against. He hits it flat, and yet it still bounces up around your head height.
Game, Karlovic.
Well, Blake steering that backhand squarely
First
at
game.
Karlovic, perhaps sending a signal that, okay, I'm going to come at you, but that I'm hoping to get a ball down the sidelines later on in the match. So here's James Blake's family and supporters. Brian Barker in the blue jumper, his coach, longtime coach since when he was very young, around 12, 13 years old. His mom, Betty, sitting beside Brian.
James Blake to serve.
I think that was interesting, the fact that he had a passing shot, Blake, and chose to hit it as hard as he could right at Karlovic. That's a way to freeze him for later in the match. Let him think you're coming at him because he's got that great wingspan, Karlovic. Blake trying to stop him in his tracks early.
Karlovic really came into the tennis consciousness back in 2003. Beat Leighton Hewitt first round at Wimbledon. Hewitt was the defending champion, and boy, that opened a few eyes, dropped a few jaws as well.
15-all.
How do you see him improving in the last couple of years since that win over Hewitt?
Well, I think ground strokes are starting to get better, and I'm not sure that's a good thing for Karlovic because they're still not good enough to win baseline rallies against today's players. And he may be tempted to attempt it more often, whereas I think his best play is to try to get to net, use that 6'10" frame.
30-15.
A fairly straightforward strategy for Blake. He feels obviously like, well, I've got to take the net away from Karlovic.
I think a lot of guys do that. His backhand's weak, Karlovic. He can't really come over it too well, so that means his passing shot won't be very effective. Yeah, that's the shot you don't want to give Karlovic too often. Slice backhand back to him after he's sliced is an invitation for a chip and charge.
Yeah, almost better to play it to his forehand, probably.
Yeah, his forehand's his stronger shot, but he probably doesn't approach as well on it. Or just beat him to the net.
$40-30. Game, Blake.
Well, you can tell from this crowd here tonight at the Darling Memorial Tennis Center that Blake has plenty of support. Of course, Leighton Hewitt, who advanced to the final this afternoon, back at the hotel. No doubt enjoying a little downtime as he awaits the winner of this match in our championship match tomorrow. We'll have that for you. Second serve.
That's a great example of just a good, solid serve and volley from Karlovic. Look at this. First volley from the service line, but then he just keeps coming forward, and his nose is over the net almost as he comes forward for that final volley. Problem is, it's tough to think lob would be effective when he's 6'10", so I think that gives Karlovic the free rein to just close as quickly as he can. Yeah, you see Blake showing you where he has to hit those returns from, up way over his head. It's just a different shot that you can't practice it unless you get your coach to serve from a ladder.
Nicely done by Karlovic. I feel like Karlovic is so solid on the backhand wing that it's almost better to steer more of your returns to the forehand.
I think the problem is most of the players are trying to steer their returns somewhere in the blue area of the court, inside the court anywhere. I don't think they can really get a handle on the serve well enough to put it even to a half of a court. I mean, Robredo in the quarterfinals, the most effective serve was body serve. Robredo was ducking out of the way, not even trying to get his racket on it. In a way, good sign for Blake in that his second serve of Karlovic, he elected to stay back, which means he's respecting the return. You see the net cam, Karlovic coming at you.
Well, Blake had already conceded the point. He walked over to the side.
This month on Center Court, Xavier Malisse plays hard on and off the court.
I'm a guy who likes to laugh and always out for a good time, so I think life's too short to sweat the small stuff.
Get up close to the Belgian import known as the X-Man. Center Court featuring Xavier Malisse this month only on the Tennis Channel.
On serve here, Blake and Karlovic in the semifinals. Let's go down to Barry McKay. Barry, how are you?
All right, Leaf, I'm great. I tell you, I was going to say it's super quiet, but they're clapping now for the big guy, Ivo Karlovic. I was 6'4", and I thought I was tall a few years ago, but this guy is a monster. And I'll tell you what, watching that serve from here, it's unbelievable. And the conditions are perfect. No wind. It's absolutely perfect right now.
Yeah, it's a nice change for the players who are already dealing with the altitude.
Slice, topspin looper, a backhand topspin drive down the line.
15 love.
Still lost the point. As Karlovic just can't seem to win baseline rallies. Oh, an overrule. Fergus Murphy. The linesman called it good.
So 30 love for Blake.
Wow, nice pickup by James Blake. That was a pretty tough approach.
40 love.
Second serve, deep and down the center of the court, not giving a lot of angle, and somehow Blake found some angle.
$40-15. Game, Blake.
Well, in order to keep up with Karlovic, you have to take care of your own serve, and so far Blake has done a good job with that. So James Blake was telling me that he'd played Karlovic in the qualifying at Wimbledon and had lost. It's not considered an official result on the ATP Tour in terms of their records. Qualifying matches are not in the head-to-head listing. But that was a difficult experience. A couple tie breaks and another close set, and Blake had lost.
Love 15.
Well, tomorrow's championship from the Mirage Cup, the ITF women's event going on right here at this event. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Sinead Perry, the American, taking on Emma Lane from Finland. Emma Lane taking out
$15.
Thinking of Angela Haynes, I could not think of the name. Good win by the Finnish player to get into the championship match.
30-15.
You just have to stay mentally focused and calm when you're playing Karlovic. You know that there's going to be games when you're not going to have a chance on the return games, but you've got to be there ready to pounce on the game where he misses some first serves, where he gives you some opportunities.
40-15.
This is seemingly one of those games where Blake's not going to have a chance. It's just rocket after rocket going past him.
Any advantage in moving back on the return?
I think you should give Karlovic different looks, at least. Stand far back one time, then move in.
Game,
wow. Great return, great pickup.
Karlovic, an easy service game and a 3-2 lead.
Karlovic leads.
Good news, men. Now we can sell our chimney caps directly to America. And we can get everything we need to make them from China. How are we going to do all that, then? FedEx will help us with all the shipping, even the complicated customs forms. What's wrong?
We don't have to give up our chimney sweep jobs, though, right?
Of course not. Don't be silly.
FedEx, helping take your small business to the world.
Imagine your photos, music, movies, and TV all in one place. Meet Media Center from Gateway and Microsoft, powered by Intel processors. It lets you easily bring together and access your media with the Intel Pentium D processor with Intel dual-core processing. Start something entertaining with Microsoft Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005, now standard on most Gateway systems. Create your own slideshows with Soundtrack and easily back up all your entertainment. It's your favorite memories, all in one place. Right now, it's starting at just $699.99 with 2 free upgrades. Buy yours today and start getting more out of your media. Thanks to the Intel Pentium D processor with dual-core processing. Visit gateway.com or call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Well, the Las Vegas Strip off in the distance here as we look down from Summerlin. And on the right, the Mirage Hotel.
our base of operations for this week's event. Boy, and they have been tremendous hosts. Really giving us a beautiful visit here in Las Vegas, and we'll be back.
Okay, Karlovic senses that the backhand of Blake is a little bit vulnerable. He can just keep on attacking that side. He'll eventually get a short ball. He approaches to that side. He volleys to that side. Blake needs to serve and volley. Nice play from Karlovic. Boy, he's playing pretty well, and now huge pressure on Blake. It's love 30. He's at 2 points from losing the set, possibly, because when you're broken by Karlovic, generally you lose the set. That's the first point Blake's lost going to the net.
Yeah, it's the Pete Sampras law. If you're playing a guy with serves like that, a break is as good as a set lost. Now here's some real trouble for Blake.
I think Blake needs to go with serve and volley. Karlovic today is actually playing better from the baseline than I've ever seen him before. He usually makes a few more errors than this. Oh boy, that's a huge break
15
for
14.
Blake, because that approach looked as though it was going long, and it skids off the line right here. And Blake with the cross-court angle, but Karlovic is there easily. He's got all day to make that drop volley. That's better. Serve volley to the backhand, make him beat you with his weakest shot.
30-14.
It's almost like Blake wants to do to Karlovic what Karlovic is doing to Blake.
Exactly. He's won 80% of the points going up there. Keep it going.
Nice recovery back to deuce by James Blake, and the crowd is getting behind him.
Deuce. Advantage Blake. Game, Blake.
So 5 straight points for James Blake, and he is equal at 3 games all. And you have to feel like Karlovic will perhaps think a little bit about that volley right now.
Certainly he'll remember it. It's a similar thing when you're playing against Karlovic. When you get a break point, you've got to figure out a way to convert that break point. You get your chance. Well, Karlovic is the same way because he never breaks serve. He had to convert. He's never going to have an easier point than that sitter forehand volley to break.
Blake with a long look at that line.
I don't like the expression on Blake's face. He can't let it show that it bothers him, the serve coming at him time after time. He just has to get ready. Almost like a goalie. You're there to make a stick save. Get it back in play somehow.
Netherlands. First off.
Excellent return. Tough for a one-hander when the ball's over your head.
15-all.
To be that strong. Here's a look at that serving and volleying from the big man. He didn't get down very well with his knees that time, just sort of dropped the racket head. Although that's a long way down for Karlovic to get his knees to the ball. Made some nice pickups. Blake's got to feel like when he makes a return like that, that's the point for him to win, and Karlovic has come up with some beauties.
And Karlovic just dumps it short. It's very tactically sound. He forces Blake to move forward, not much room to put the ball into from that low point. Well, that time Blake able to apply some pressure again off the second serve. When he gets on top of the return, he can make good things happen as long as he sees a second serve.
Oh boy, Blake knows he had a chance there. He guessed right. You've got to guess. He made the return. Had one of his favorite shots, that forehand. Karlovic has gone a little bit away from the strategy that's worked for him. He's tested the forehand a couple of times this game.
First time.
So Karlovic toughs out a tight game on serve. 7 games played, all have gone to serve. The Mirage Hotel, a fabulous destination here in fabulous Las Vegas.
At eHarmony, we help create passionate relationships that have what it takes to stay passionate for a lifetime.
This was truly love at first sight.
Even though we've known each other for a little over a year and a half, I still get goosebumps.
I wanted to find someone that I would be happy with forever.
Fell in love with her instantly, actually.
Love based on true compatibility is a powerful, life-changing experience. That's why at eHarmony, we match you on 29 proven dimensions of compatibility.
It's about the heart. It's about what is inside of that person.
Somebody loves you as much as you love them.
He loves me for me.
When you find someone like that, you want to spend the rest of your life with them. That's incredible.
Experience the power of love based on true compatibility. It starts with your compatibility profile. A $50 value, yours free when you log on to eHarmony.com.
I never, ever would have met him if it wasn't for eHarmony.
The rest is history.
eHarmony.com. Log on today.
You see a long business trip. At Franklin Templeton, we saw regional air travel rising and invested in a commuter jet manufacturer ready to take off. A smart move for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Templeton a pioneer in global investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Welcome back to center court here at the Darling Memorial Tennis Center on the outside court paddle tennis. A little mixed doubles for you. In fact, it's Gail Monfils' coach, Terry Champion, involved in this competition. There's Terry Champion. We know him well. He was a tour player when we were on the tour. But now he's playing a little paddle.
He was a quarterfinalist at Roland Garros one year, so he's an accomplished tennis player that, as most tennis players, seem to be able to play paddle reasonably well.
Yeah, Gail Monfils in the finals of the paddle singles, and we'll have some of that for you tomorrow for sure, right here on the Tennis Channel.
Game, play. 4 games all.
Well, he is the tallest man on tour. We've got a couple of very tall players. Dick Norman, Alexander Popp, the German.
Victor Hanescu and Joachim Johansson. Johansson, a top 10 player at one time till he got some injury problems.
That's right, Johansson played in San Jose, so his first event back on tour in some time. Lost his opening match, but he said he felt good just to be healthy.
15 love. Steady love.
Well, another player who returned from injury was Marty Fish. He played in San Jose, lost his first match there, but did win his first match back since 2005 here in Las Vegas. Took out Prakash Amritraj, son of Vijay Amritraj, and we've had so many wonderful people visiting with us this week. We've had Vijay Amritraj up in the booth. Sinjin Smith was here. Donna Mills was a special guest of the tournament. She was here watching tennis.
Karlovic is serving intelligently from the standpoint of he waits till 40 love in 40-15 before he tests the Blake forehand side. And Blake has been there for those, but you can't just serve 100% to the backhand. So on the big points, Karlovic goes to the backhand. Boy, that body serve is nasty.
Damn.
Yeah, you're not sure whether to try and hit it or to get out of the way. Karlovic, 5-4.
What is the color of innocence? What is the color of bravado? What is the color of passion? What is the color of defiance? Life is color, and no other HD television shows it more vibrantly than the Panasonic Plasma, America's best-selling plasma TV. Panasonic, ideas for life.
This month, find out what the next revolution on court will be.
Should this be more wrestling? Should we hate each other more?
The Sports Business Journal Special, Part 2, this month.
Ivo Karlovic with a 5-4 lead. We're on serve here in the opening set. James Blake, the number 5 seed, will come around to serve here in the 10th game. Of course, the winner of this match will take on Leighton Hewitt in the finals. And there's a special guest at the tournament here, Donna Mills. Quite a tennis player and a real tennis fan. She's here with her daughter Chloe, enjoying the day's play. She was here this afternoon as well. So here's Blake, 4-5.
Funny is the Blake matches have had a lot of electricity with the crowd. The crowds have been very into his matches in this tournament so far. It's tough to get into it when he's playing Karlovic because there's not a lot of points going on. But there is some pressure. You've got to be so careful on your serve. You cannot afford to make a few errors and give the big man a break.
Now, one thing successful tennis players do is they deal well with errors, and Karlovic doesn't mind if he makes a few mistakes, as long as he can hold serve, produce one good point at the right time, and this match could have a very different perspective.
Well, that's why I feel I'm not sure the strategy that he should use. Should he, Karlovic, just try to hit a winner on every ball when he's returning serve? He holds 91% of the time. and hope he gets 4 in one game? Or do you play consistent and hope you get some unforced errors that way? It's a hard call. Or maybe mix up the two.
The icy hot injury report. Tommy Johansson with that eye injury. It's so sad for him. Out 4 months. Hit in the eye with a tennis ball off Mario Andrić's racket. Yuri Novak, he's been sidelined for a while. I'm not sure we'll see Novak again. He's sort of in the twilight of his career. Xavier Malisse retired from the Tennis Channel Open, had some Achilles problems in his quarterfinal with Paul Goldstein.
Try from Blake. Ran so hard he almost ran out of his shoe. Take a look at this. We're not on clay, folks. The sliding stop. Nearly made that lob. It's amazing how quickly he's going to the left hand for a lot of these attempted returns. He made one earlier, the short high lob, that then he walked to the sideline. It just totally takes you out of your game. Beautiful. Blake has done that well. I wasn't sure how well he'd handle the second serve of Karlovic, because in some ways that's, if you return second serves well against him, that's your chance to win. No one's winning points when he makes first serve, so you've got to convert when you get second serves. Blake's doing a reasonable job. 55% Karlovic is winning second serve points.
And Karlovic.
Yeah, he's like a Shaq O'Neal around the basket. He's just hammering home dunks.
6 games to 5.
The aerodynamic principles that keep a Saab jet in the air help the Saab 9.5 remain firmly on the ground. Introducing the new 260 horsepower Saab 9.5. Once you've built jets, you don't build just another car.
What's cooking at Stouffer's? A whole menu of restaurant-inspired dishes. Corner bistro entrees from Stouffer's. 6 delicious entrees like seafood scampi, shrimp and scallops tossed in a buttery garlic sauce and served over linguine pasta. It's not what you'd expect from frozen, but it is what you'd expect from Stouffer's. Try our full menu of corner bistro entrees and see what's cooking at Stouffer's.
Well, the Dubai Tennis Championships. Roger Federer taking on Rafael Nadal, and this was a great one. Federer dominated in the opening set. But as usual, Nadal fighting back strongly. Remember, we covered this match live on the Tennis Channel, and it was Nadal who was picking up momentum.
Nadal's the one man who has a style of play that gives Federer a little bit of trouble. That whipping topspin forehand to Federer's backhand. As is a shot that can cause problems for Roger Federer, the world #1.
8,600. It's pretty heavy.
Well, what a moment for Rafael Nadal. Remember, on the Tennis Channel, you can see a replay of this final, 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, that's one reason to have a Tennis Channel addiction. So 8 p.m. tomorrow, Jimmy. You might want to tune in and watch that one again. That one was a classic.
I think those two are, they have been for the last year now, head and shoulders above everybody else. Nadal winning 4 Masters Series and a Grand Slam last year. Well, who could have predicted tiebreak in this match, and yet we're 1 point away from having that happen.
So a tiebreak it is. Well, no surprises here. Karlovic, who did not play as many tiebreaks as Andy Roddick in 2005, but he averaged per match more tiebreaks than Andy Roddick did. So
all right, well, Blake's lost 5 points, no, 7 points on his serve in this match. And Karlovic has lost 7 points on his serve so far in this match. So I would say mini break is a premium in this tie break. Just getting 1 point on your opponent's serve is huge.
Well, Blake has done well off the second serve. Here's a chance right off the bat.
What's funny is this is the kind of thing that Karlovic could be top 10 in the world if he played solid, great tie breaks, clutch tie breaks, because he's going to play so many, but he seems to lose quite a number of them. Maybe we see why. That was one of his worst volleys of the match. That was a chest-high volley, no reason to dump it in net. Wow.
Well, you said his forehand was his primary weapon next to his serve, and this is a good example of the kind of damage he can do.
Deep slice, and then he moves around like a regular baseliner, runs around his backhand and whips the forehand for a winner.
Nicely done by Blake, a little serving volley, and a nice finish on the backhand side. Which was nice that he hit that with angle. He landed it around the service line. A little more angle than depth.
Best passing shot of the day for James Blake on the backhand side. Beautifully controlled down the line. He stayed turned a little bit better than he has. Seems to be open sometimes on his backhand side. That was great speed and a pretty good defensive lob from Blake. Karlovic did a great job not panicking on the high ball up in the lights at night. Could be difficult sometimes.
And the other semifinal, Leighton Hewitt in the opening set really struggled putting away overheads against Goldstein, but he got it straightened out in time. Well, the backhand errors continue to pile up for Karlovic. And Blake is up in the tiebreak now, 4-2. You really have to credit Tarek Benabiles with the work he's done with Karlovic, because in the course of a year, all of a sudden he's looked more dangerous than ever.
Kleenex?
Yes, he does. He is a dangerous player. Let's get that straight right away. He's a guy that no one wants to see because, you know, a returner as great as Leighton Hewitt has lost to him twice. You know you're going to probably play a tiebreak or two.
Blake.
Now that will sort of get on Karlovic's nerves, no doubt. Another backhand error, and Blake a 5-2 lead.
Now 2 serves to Karlovic. He's got to win them both to have any hope in this tiebreak. First serve percentage dropping a little bit in the tiebreak as well. He's played a tight tiebreak, Karlovic has, and that's allowed Blake to get this lead.
16.
Well, that may have sealed his fate, at least for the first set.
Blake.
First double fault of the match. A statement backhand clinches the opening set. 7-6 for James Blake.
For back pain
or sore knees,
you need more than support.
You need support and pain relief.
Icy Hot Pro Therapy puts support and pain relief together. Neoprene support braces hold cold inserts to reduce inflammation or hot inserts to relax away stiffness for up to 8 hours. Icy Hot Pro Therapy. Support braces that hold cold or hot inserts for lasting relief of back and knee pain.
Got no time for pain?
Team up with Icy Hot Pro Therapy. Count on it.
Multi-State Insurance Company.
Hello, I'd like a car insurance quote, please. Yeah, hi. Hello. Yeah, I'd like a quote, please. Can I have a car insurance quote? Need a quote. Yeah, I'm looking for a car insurance quote, please. Quote, please. Just need a quote.
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. We give you our direct rate for car insurance plus the rates of other top companies instantly. Go to Progressive.com.
Yeah, I'm trying to add a new car to my policy online, and I...
No, that's not possible.
Oh, you don't do that?
No.
Can I pay my bill online? You don't do that either?
No, sorry.
You don't do that? Okay. So, what do you do?
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. Our top-rated website lets you do virtually everything with your policy, easily and instantly. Check out Progressive.com.
Well, that first set for James Blake, pretty as a picture. A couple of backhand winners to seal the tiebreak. Let's go down to Barry McKay. Barry?
All right, Leaf. Well, it's been a heck of a first set, and I'll tell you, James Blake moved back about 1/2 a foot in that tiebreak. I saw him do it, and it worked for him. And Jimmy's been saying how tough it is to return that serve, but he moved back, which was very smart early in that tiebreak, and it worked for him. Well, now it's time to have a look at our Michelob Ultra match summary. And the numbers speak for themselves. A little bit tight, you could see it. But as Jimmy mentioned, it is very difficult to return that serve. Break point's the key, obviously. James Blake, when the chips are down, he hit the right shots. No question about it. Yep.
right, thank you, Barry. And yeah, it seemed like Karlovic had the chances, but unable to take them on the Blake serve as well.
It was one game where he had chances. Love 40, triple break point, and missed that forehand volley. Or the first set was his, but don't give up on Karlovic yet. He's a guy, even though he's looking frustrated right now, he's still tough to break. It's a question of who takes advantage of that one loose game. Karlovic didn't when he had a chance against Blake.
Well, that is a wonderful start after you've won the opening set. A love service game.
First game, second set.
Well, let's revisit the love 40 point when Blake was serving. And Karlovic was able to get himself in a good position at the net.
I thought it was a bad idea for Blake to stay back, and Karlovic exactly right. Came in off the baseline, had the forehand volley. He'd been volleying beautifully all match. Dumped that one into the net. Didn't get really a sniff on the other points to break serve, and all of a sudden they were still on serve, went to the tiebreak, and Blake really allowed his game to rise that level in the tiebreak. He made returns. He made 2 backhand passes down the line that he hadn't looked like making all match long.
And you can see that Blake was using the body English there. He knew it felt good. Just carried over the baseline. And I think it's good to lob against the guy, even if he is 6'10", just to make him think twice about getting too close.
Make him hesitate just a little bit. That's good stuff. The two-handed return again that Blake is suddenly employed today because he can't get it back with one hand. It's just too fast. Blake has a very aggressive type of return to serve. He's not one of those guys that gets them all back in play, especially on his forehand. He'll just take a full cut sometimes. And we can see on second serves, on kick serves, something that I thought was maybe a bit of a weakness. He's proven to be pretty strong today against Karlovic. Karlovic, for the match, only 44% second serve points won.
Second serve by comparison, it's coming in at 117 miles an hour, so it's 20 miles an hour slower.
But that's a 117 mile an hour kicker. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Maybe it's too fast.
Maybe, but that ball's definitely bouncing up high and fast. Blake seems to be handling the second serve well.
I think Roddick has a better second serve. It has a little more torque down into the court, a little more explosion up and away.
And away.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Karlovic gets enough credit for the volley. That was not a simple volley. He stuck it.
You have these small opportunities.
And that was one of them. Blake knows it.
A half volley pass. He had to make it happen very quickly.
That's awesome.
So 1 game all here in the second set. Let's go to Mika Buck. And Mika,
Hi there, I'm in the stands with Thomas Blake. Your brother doing a very good job of getting on top of those huge serves.
Yeah, he's starting to return them a lot better. He was seeing him better in the tiebreaker. Obviously, this guy's serving huge. It's tough to return.
Okay, back to the match. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mika. Trying to keep her voice down there in the crowd as Thomas pretty close to the court, not wanting to interrupt play. We had Thomas Blake up in the booth the other evening. Older brother of James.
Even if he was 12'10", Karlovic wasn't going to reach this overhead from Blake, who gives you a little extra flair with the big leap.
Well, this is Blake's second semifinal of 2006. He played the semifinals in Sydney. Of course, he advanced there, ended up going through the finals and winning the tournament, beating Igor Andreev, the Russian, in the final. So he's trying to book another spot in the finals here this week in Vegas.
You see a troubled steel business. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a chance to invest in a re-engineered steel company poised for a turnaround, building strong returns for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Mutual Series a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
What is the color of innocence? What is the color of bravado? What is the color of passion? What is the color of defiance? Life is color, and no other HD television shows it more vibrantly than the Panasonic Plasma, America's best-selling plasma TV. Panasonic, ideas for life.
Coming this March to Mission Hills Country Club, California. Campbell's and BMW present the first USTA National Husband and Wife Senior and Super Senior Grass Court Championships. Couples must be a combined age of 100 and Super Seniors 120 by December 31st, 2006. Participants are invited to a dinner dance, receive great gifts, and the big winners score tickets to Hawaii.
This is camaraderie and a way of keeping alive.
Email Steve Solomon at solomonmnd@aol.com for more information.
Well, coming up next, the world's #1 doubles team. You know them well, the U.S. Davis Cup squad team as well. Bob and Mike Bryan taking on Jeff Coetzee and Roger Wasson of the Netherlands. Coetzee out of South Africa. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, we'll have the Mirage Cup Championships. Shania Perry, the American, taking on Emma Lillane out of Finland. So a lot of tennis action on Sunday as we build up to the final day of this week's celebration of tennis. Boy, we have had so much going on here this week. It really has been difficult to keep track of it.
Well, they showed Thomas Blake. He was in the finals of the racket stringing contest, but didn't show. Defaulted out of the finals after finishing second in his heat.
Probably the pressure got to him.
Exactly.
Unless he was on the icy hot injury report. He had a little, his finger was bothering me. Couldn't thread that string through the bed. There's Thomas Blake, Harvard graduate.
it's funny, it's suddenly getting to the point where Blake, it's the tipping point. Blake is getting onto the serve a little bit. He's making a few more returns. And he's getting a look at second serves right now. Karlovic serving at 40% in this set. So these are the opportunities when Karlovic has a little bit of a letdown on first serve. You've got to break, got to take advantage. Because first serve, he still gets that kind of cheese on the reply. If he gets the first serve in, he's at 89%. He's lost 3 points in the match when he's gotten his first serve in, Karlovic.
That's an incredible percentage,
ridiculous.
Isn't it? It's just hard to get past him.
But I think the pressure of Blake returning so well recently on his second serve is making that first serve percentage drop a little bit. He's feeling that pressure of his second serve isn't good enough right now. Another case in point, afraid to come to net behind his second serve all of a sudden. He's not going to win a baseline rally. He's in a little trouble, Karlovic. He's got to find a way to get that first serve percentage up.
I mean, just getting to deuce for the first time, that's an achievement for Blake. Feels like he's making progress, just staying even.
Blake upset at that one, even though it was a first serve in. The reason Blake was upset is he guessed backhand. Still didn't get turned on it quick enough, but you could see him getting that turn shoulder right away. He knew backhand was coming. Felt like he should have made a better attempt than that.
Oh, another great grab, this time by a youngster. I'll tell you, this crowd is alert.
Sure-handed.
Sure-handed crowd tonight. Oh, that was a good volley, and he covered the line. But he missed the volley, so we go back to deuce. Deuce. Nice little inside out.
Beautiful inside out, and then just had to get that one over. I don't know why he tried to kind of stick it. He tried to put something on that. Right here, he just had to open up the racket face and let that ball get over the net. Blake was not going to try to run it down. That was beautiful stuff from Karlovic. He had to dig up a couple of low volleys. And Blake probably should have tried a topspin lob there, as Karlovic is camped on top of the net. Just stepped in nicely for that final drop volley. The same volley he missed, by the way, on break point in the first set.
Nicely done. And again, that second serve just doesn't have the kick. It comes in fast, 109 miles an hour, but it's fairly straight. It's not really fooling Blake, is it?
No, but you'd still have to take, you see where Blake's standing well inside the baseline. It bounces up high. Doesn't have that sideways kick to it, but it bounces up high simply because of his height. So you've got to take a 110 mile an hour plus serve from inside the baseline. Not that easy. It's not as easy as Blake's making it seem. Whoa! Blake getting on the first serve finally.
And finally, he fooled Karlovic with a pass. He's been going down the line pretty regularly. This time he gets outside it, rolls it cross court. Here's a point for 3-1.
First break point of the match for Blake. was awesome. A huge serve, 2 big first serves in a row. He'd only lost 3 points in the match on a first serve. He just lost the last 2 with a reflex return, really. No backswing at all. Just put your racket on it, hope for the best.
Well, that one registering 134 miles an hour on the gun. And Blake just hammered it with the pass. Of course, Blake's first serve is as fast as Karlovic's second, 117 miles an hour.
It's kind of sad.
Blake doesn't have a bad serve.
What's even sadder is that his second serve is bigger than my biggest first serve.
Ever was.
Thank you for adding ever.
Well, Blake, a part of the U.S. Davis Cup push. Karlovic was a part of the winning side last year. Croatia did not play any live matches. But boy, you talk about a big physical team. A Ljubicic, 6 feet 4 inches tall. Ancic, 6 feet 5 inches tall. Well, I'm Leif Shiras alongside Jimmy Arias. Barry McKay is down courtside. Panasonic presents the Tennis Channel Open here at the Darling Memorial Tennis Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. Semifinals between James Blake and Ivo Karlovic.
I like some of the things Ivo Karlovic is doing. That was a nice drop shot. He just happened to be playing James Blake, who's a rocket ship when it comes to covering drop shots.
That was strong hold for Blake after getting the break. So he's in a good position here in the semis.
I got through menopause fine, but my skin took it rough.
Gold Bond Ultimate Moisturizing Lotion. 7 intensive moisturizers and 3 vitamins for extremely dry skin.
Now my skin looks as young as I feel.
Can your lotion do that?
Gold Bond Ultimate Healing. This stuff really works.
Don't miss the final of the Abierto Mexicano Telcel from Acapulco. Early morning Sunday, only on the Tennis Channel. The Tennis Channel presents the most spectacular tennis on the tour with Hot Shot from the Copa Telmex ATP Buenos Aires. Argentine Agustin Caleri electrifies his home crowd with this unbelievable get.
What a shot on the run, fully extended. Caleri whips it right by him.
When he needed it the most.
This has been Hot Shot, featuring the greatest plays in tennis. Hot Shot, only on the Tennis Channel.
That would have been good. I'm up in the stands now, and I'm actually in the company of some U.S. tennis royalty. Of course, to my right, we have Thomas Blake, who's must be proud of his brother out there. He's doing a great job getting on top of that serve.
Yeah, he's playing great. I thought he might get a little complacent in the second set after you know, Ivo was serving big and he wasn't really returning them, and James was having an easy time on his service games. But he's been doing a really good job, and now he's starting to get on it.
I think he did a good job of keeping going to the backhand, as you suggested, right?
Yeah, Ivo's weaker side is his backhand. I think James has kind of picked up on that and is kind of exploiting it at this point.
So punish that backhand. Now, Marty, what are you thinking of this match so far? You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's fun. It's tough to watch Ivo because he just serves and serves and serves and he doesn't do much else, but he serves better than anybody in the world. And it's a good match though. James is returning very well, and he's actually staying back on some second serves, which is surprising.
Thanks very much. Now it's back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mika. Marty Fish, of course, a guy who can serve pretty well himself.
But he's no Ivo Karlovic. He does serve big.
Dr. Ivo.
That to me was the beginning of the end of the match. Not that this match is completely over yet, obviously, but what seemed to be the end of the match to me was Karlovic being forced to stay back on his second serve. That means the return of Blake was so effective because he can't win from the baseline, Karlovic. He's got to keep coming to the net, even if it's not working. When he had the easy forehand. Karlovic was still there, he just whiffed.
Well, that's a surprising development, really. Karlovic just 3 double faults, a couple this set, but now Blake can really crack this one open.
One of the serves he's gone away from a little bit, Karlovic, it worked so well for him, is the body serve. Remember how effective you almost are thinking about just ducking and not taking a swing. He hasn't used that. He's been trying to hit the corners and has been missing first serves in this set. There's the body serve. Still didn't work. And Blake is just on his serve.
Yeah, and just feeling good to get the ball back in play, and Karlovic coughs up another error. He just has been a little patchy in his play, and Blake really at the height of his powers.
1 unforced error in this set to 10 winners for Blake. And the returns have been effective, even off the first serve recently.
Yeah, Karlovic will have to improve that backhand because Blake is really just dumping the volley there. He's not even doing much with it.
No, you can kick serve to the backhand, run in, and throw a cheesy volley to the backhand, and you're in decent shape. Blake won a service point this set. He's only lost a handful for the match. It's amazing how you can look back at 1 point. That love 40 point on Blake's serve. This whole match could be completely different. It would be a set lead for Karlovic. But instead it's a cruising in the second set for Blake.
Yeah, perhaps Karlovic just not ready yet. Could not handle that point, and I doubt he'll be handle this deficit, love 40.
Oh, don't count him out yet, Lee. He just won his 10th point of the set of the match on Blake's serve. He needs 2 more in a row. Oh.
And Blake is smiling, of course, because if the ball skids past your opponent, you feel, oh, it hit the line.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got a second serve here on his second match point. Oh, what a finish by Blake. Saves his best for last. And he takes the second set 6-1.
Awesome stuff from James Blake. Nobody breaks Ivo Karlovic twice in one set. And yet Blake did it today with some brilliant stuff in that second set. Finished it in style with that beautiful backhand pass.
Well, our championship match is set. Our top seed, Leighton Hewitt, will take on number 5 seed, James Blake. We'll have it for you on the Tennis Channel, 4 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. Well, I think this crowd wanted to see Blake in the final, and that's just what they have.
Oh, that is going to be a fantastic final. Both players very quick around the court, a lot of fireworks, a lot of passion. The crowd's going to be into it. It should be a great final.
Great effort from Karlovic and Goldstein to reach the semifinals, but they fell just a little short today as Hewitt and Blake are in the finals. Let's go down courtside to Barry McKay. He is with James Blake.
All right, thanks, Leaf. James, well played. How tough is it to get that big guy's serve back?
Well, I mean, I guess if you could picture trying to make a decision in about 0.5 of a second, if it's going to be a forehand or a backhand, is he kicking it or sliding it, it's not easy. Sometimes you just close your eyes and wish for the best. Luckily, a couple times I closed my eyes and hit the center of the racket on break point, so I'm pretty lucky and happy to get through to the next round.
Looked to me like maybe you took a little bit of a step back on that second serve every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, his second serve bounces up so much, more than any other player on tour, because it's coming from such a severe angle. So a lot of times I'm trying to take it early so it doesn't get up above me, and sometimes step back so I can catch it on the down when it's coming down. But it's so tough to get it up above your head. I mean, he's so good at getting it where you don't want to hit it.
Did you ever have a look over there at your mom and your brother? They were pulling pretty hard.
Yeah, they're pulling pretty hard. It's great to have a support team here. Luckily, I got my friends, my brother, Marty Fish is here, another one of the players on tour, and my coach, and countless fans here, which I'm so happy we're cheering for me.
James, big match coming up tomorrow, Leighton Hewitt. Any thoughts about that guy?
Probably a little different matchup than today. He's a little smaller, his serve is a little more traditional, but he's got great returns. I'm going to have to serve really well, put a little pressure on him and see if I can take advantage of my chances on his second serve as well as I did today against Ivo. But it's going to be a great match. We've had a lot of good battles, and hopefully I can come out on top one of these times.
On another topic, I know you love representing your country in Davis Cup, and we got a big match coming up against the Chileans. Any thoughts about that one?
Yeah, well, I hope Patrick McEnroe was watching tonight, because this felt like a grass court match here. Kind of the first one to get into the net, being a little aggressive and trying not to get too down when you're getting aced out of a match. But hopefully I can play as well as I did tonight in Mission Hills if they give me the chance.
James, thanks for stopping. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, back up to you, Lee.
Well, watching Blake's performance, not only down in Australia, but here again in Las Vegas, and of course his performance in La Jolla as well in the opening round match against Romania, you probably think that Patrick McEnroe is penciling in James Blake's name into that slot for the number 2 singles behind Andy Roddick. What do you think?
No, definitely. He's been the best player out of the Americans this year, including Andy Roddick. He might be the number 1 American soon if Roddick doesn't get his act together, because Blake is playing beautifully.
This is a difficult challenge for any tennis player to come out and play Ivo Karlovic. Blake handled it so well. Somehow he was able to get out of trouble in the opening set and win it in straight, 7-6 and 6-1. Well, his family, I'm sure, equally as elated. James Blake, a very cool customer. He said he learned from Mats Wilander how to keep things in perspective. And this is a young man with a real solid head on his shoulders. And he will be ready, no doubt, for his matchup against Hewitt in the championship match.